Hi everyone, this is Diane. I am going to show you sort of a haul. Some of it was free stuff that was actually left in this house, and some were some free things that were given to my sister to pass on to me, and some were from a book sale at a library. So let's start with these. So in my office upstairs here, it's a very small room, but there is it's like a little closet, but the bottom half of it has drawers in it, and then the top half has a bar, but I'm not going to hang anything in it. I have some stuff stored on that part, but I also filled the drawers with, not crafty stuff, just stuff for my office. But he left all of this in one of the drawers. So let me just show you what he left that I can use. One of them was a partially used pack of inexpensive basic printer paper. So I left that up there with my printer, and I can use it for printing receipts for my orders. This is like almost like a parchment looking envelope. I think it's just printed to look that way, and it has some holly there. So there's 50, oh, look at that, that's pretty. 50 envelopes in here. Doesn't look like it's ever been opened or used. I can use them for Christmas. And just some printer computer paper. I think this is adorable. So I have a drawer down here that contains different styles of this kind of paper, and I will just add that to that drawer. There's a Christmas one with poinsettias in the corner. That looks unopened. And this one, also Christmas. And oh, these were mine. I think I just had them upstairs with the printer, and they should be down here. I don't think he left these here. Yeah, I think I already had those. And then there was some brightly colored paper, and I can copy dye that or use it as it is. This is premium cardstock, and it's like a parchment looking cardstock. And there are 2 packages of it. 65 pounds and 100 sheets. Here. That's nice. I can make tags, cards with it. I don't need that much of it. And then this is resume paper, and I already have some of this, but this is really nice paper. I'll just have to start using it more. So those were all free. And I took a walk on Friday. I told you I used to like walking around this area when I used to live on this side of town. And so I took a walk on Friday, and they have a farmer's market in the town square. It's called Howard Elmer Park. And they have a farmer's market during the warm months. So I went there. I didn't buy anything. Last week I bought a bouquet of flowers for my dining room table. And this week I threw them away, but because, they were a week old. But I didn't buy anything this week. I just kind of walked around, passed through it, and then right across the street is the library, and they always have an ongoing book sale. So I stopped in, and I got these books. Now these 3 were on the free table. I got these free. I got other ones free also from the free table, and I only spent $1.50. So most of the books were free. But I love this size of the Better Homes and Gardens craft books. This is a great size for domestic arts. I love this embroidery cover. Isn't that beautiful? So I can make a domestic arts journal with that. Oh, that was a printer error. That was printed wrong, I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going to take the book apart. No wonder this was free. It was not made right. One of them has some water damage. This one is a needlepoint one. I made a domestic arts journal with this before, and I was making a collection of them, 3 or 4, and my viewers, this was several years ago, my viewers kept talking about the lion, so they liked the lion. So I thought I would make another one with that. And I have one of these, and I've been planning on making a domestic arts journal for myself with this, but now, look at that. It's so pretty. Now I can make one for myself and one to sell. This is the one that had water damage. And I sniffed it, and it didn't smell mildewed, or it didn't have a terrible smell. It doesn't have a smell. So it'll be fine to use. I love that color. So those were free. And I think this one was free. Crafts from the Garden. It's from 1990. It looks, oh, this is 1993. It looks older than that, doesn't it? I would have said it was from the 70s. But I like the black and white illustrations. That'll be fun pages. What else did I get for free? I think this one. First Garden by C.Z. Guest. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's got a pretty cover, so I want to show that to you. Isn't that pretty? If I made a journal out of this, it would be a big one. Nine 3/4 by 10 1/4. But it's got that pretty pansy on the front. Just a pretty green fabric cover. It has glossy pictures, and some of them I would use, but I love these. And they're even like a deep green, deep army green ink instead of black. And it's got this italic printing. So I thought this was great, and it was free. So pretty. I was going to say they look like nasturtiums, but they're not nasturtium leaves, so I don't know what they are. They look more like dandelion leaves. Just a nice book. Then the ones I paid for, and like I said, I paid $1.50 for these 3 books. A Bug in a Jug and Other Funny Rhymes. Illustrated by Alan Baker. The little mouse here reminded me of, I used to have, I might still have it, a book of nursery rhymes that were full of little mice illustrations, and it was illustrated by Priscilla Hillman, I can't remember, but I loved those little mice, and that reminded me of those mice. But it's just really cute illustrations. And it's, oh, there's a louse. We don't want him in our journal, see? A lacy mouse. Oh, ladybug. I don't think it's very old. 1993. And there were a lot of these. So there were several books that were similar, this kind of thin paperback books. And there were, I don't know, 8 or 9 or something like that of each one. So I think they belonged to a school group or something. And I got this, my Play a Tune book, but it's because I liked these pages. They're just cardstock pages. I can make journaling cards with them for large journals. And it has the notes you would play. This would, if this had batteries in it or whatever it needs. Yeah, there's a battery home for it right there. It tells you what key to play, and you play the alphabet song. Or happy birthday. These are so cute. And then lastly, I got this book, Chocolate, Joy of Chocolate. I like the shape of it. It is 7.5 inches tall and 8.5 inches wide. So it's a nice landscape. Because it's 8.5 inches, you'd probably have to piece papers to be wide enough. And I'm not making chocolate books, chocolate journals. I had some really cool vintage chocolate ephemera and some not so vintage, and I sold it all in a kit. But I still have rubber stamps that feature chocolate, quite a few of them. So I didn't want to leave this book here. I'm going to show you the cover in a minute. I didn't want to leave it there. This is like a cabbage made out of chocolate. It's amazing. All the detail in it. Look at that. Raspberries on top, chocolate-shaped leaves. Leaf-shaped chocolates. So I thought I could make a collection of ephemera with my stamps and then put them with this book and sell it as a bundle when I have time to do that. Let me show you how pretty this cover is. Look at that gold. Kind of almost a rose gold. The Joy of Chocolate. I think it's so pretty, and I love the landscape shape of it, and the pages are nice. There's some marbled chocolate on the inside. Has nice photographs, lots of recipes, and just pretty little illustrations. Sings Billie Holiday. I'd make 1,000 trips to his lips if I were a bee, because he's sweeter than chocolate candy to me. He's confectionery. All I can say is he must have been some man. I don't know that song. I've heard of Billie Holiday, but I don't know that song. But look at the pretty illustrations on these pages. And it's really good quality paper that could be folded without cracking. And I think these can be taken apart in a folio, so it would be a spread. Let me see if I can find a center. Maybe not. Hang on. Yeah, there it is. So it's got thread here that can be cut. So this would be perfect to have a full-size spread in the journal. So what do you think about that idea? Making some ephemera. I could make the ephemera on a video or several videos, and then put it all together with this journal, with this book. So you could make a journal. Okay, that's from the library. And then I walked a little further and went to a little shop on another street in this town, and she has vendors there that sell vintage items and new items too, but I didn't get much. I got this piece of sheet music for $1. I am always building castles in the air. I just thought she was pretty, and she'd be a pretty journal cover. And I got a few doilies for $1 each, and there should be another yellow one, and then there was a set of 3 red ones about this size, and they were on a crochet thread that was attached. So they were 3 attached together, and that was all 3 of them for $1. I'm not sure where they ended up, because, you know, I'm not settled into this house yet completely. So things aren't always where I think they are. But anyway, I got these 3 doilies plus a few more. Then my sister gave these to me. A lady that goes to her church. I think she probably met me at some point, because my sisters and I would occasionally sing at her church. I played the piano, they sang. Sometimes I sang with them. So I probably met her at one of those things, and she knew of me, she remembered me, and I guess Barbara, my sister, told her about my journals and probably linked or gave her the name of my channel, so she probably saw some of my videos. But anyway, she asked Barbara, does your sister still make smash books? So apparently she knew of me back in the day when I was making smash books instead of junk journals. And Barbara said yes. So she bought this whole stack of antique postcards and gave them to Barbara to give to me. Wasn't that wonderful? So let's just take a quick look at them. This one is actually an advertising card for Household Sewing Machine Company. You can see it's broken, and this is pretty bent. I think the rest are just postcards. Valentine greetings. This is the State Armory in Middletown, New York, 1916. Love the flowers on this. It's pretty. So delicate looking. Oh, that's pretty. This is Elmira, New York, Maple Avenue. Easter greetings. There's a St. Patrick's Day one, Erin Gobra, 1915. There's some swans. I'll put that with my swan journal stuff. This looks like a book illustration. Alfred James Dewey is the artist. It says The Golden Wedding, 1915 also, I think. There's Little Red Riding Hood. So I didn't count all the cards, but there's quite a few there, and she just gave them to me. And she doesn't even know me. I thought that was pretty awesome. Oh, let's see, 18 minutes. So I think I'll just go ahead and show you my cherry journal supplies, because I'm not going to start on them yet because I have more cleanup and organizing to do in here now that the glue books are done. They are in my shop. At this point, as I'm making the video, 3 out of 5 have sold. So there are 2 more in the shop right now. So I got out my cherry journal supplies because that's going to be next, and there will probably be 2 or 3 of them. So let's take a look at what I have. I was thinking I would use red and green and maybe some blue gingham-y stuff, and then I remembered these old composition books that are very, very sturdy. So I might use 1 or 2 of these, but if I made something pretty with that, that could go on the front. And I think I had another one too that I could use, so as we look through I might find it. But I like that one, maybe. But I could also make covers out of fabric. So here's a pretty white fabric with some sketchy looking little tiny cherries, so delicate looking. There's quite a bit there. And then this big and bold, some kind of a scarf or table square. I'm not sure what it was supposed to be, but lots of cherries on that. This came from a tablecloth, a vintage tablecloth. And this is just a scrap. I've had this fabric for a long time, and this is all that's left of it. And this came off of a piece of linen that had other fruit. I remember there was a pear. I don't remember what else, but I cut the cherries off. I got this quite a few years ago, but I've been saving this. So there's that. Those are the fabrics. And I have this shelf liner paper with the cherry border. A piece of wallpaper, or wrapping paper, I mean. So there's 3 sections, and it would end up being folded into a book like that if I used it in 3 different books. The recipe page that says about cherries right there, so I would probably cut that out and use it on a piece of ephemera. Take these big things first. These pancakes have cherry sauce. I guess that's it. Ooh, look at that French toast. Cherry Phillips. So I think, yeah, this goes together like this. This is the cherry sauce for here. And then this says Cherry Phillips. I love this bird that's on the cherry tree. George Washington cherry pie. This looks like maybe it was in a kid's book, but I'm not sure. A kid's cookbook. The strawberries were cut out of the same cover as these grapes, and this piece that I put on the cover, they were all on a seed catalog. There's some cherry tarts and a cherry pie. These are vintage. This was end paper or a fly leaf on a book. There's an apricot on one side and cherries on the back. This is a very pale looking cherry. This was from that seed book or plant book or whatever. Cherry tree, sour cherries, and sweet cherries. This says Governor Wood cherries. They're very pale. Cherry sauce, Telford cherry cake, cherry hatchet cake. There's a little hatchet there, so that was probably for Abraham Lincoln's birthday, or George Washington's birthday. Yep, just that one recipe has cherries. Several recipes here have cherries. Oh, there's cherries there. Cherries, different types of cherries and descriptions. Cherry ice cream cake. This little scrap of scrapbook pattern cardstock. I have several recipe cards that have cherries. Betty Crocker and McCall's collections. Love that. Quite a few of those. A couple of black cherry dietetic carbonated beverage labels. Smaller pieces cut from recipe books. This is a fold a note with cherries on it. An embroidery transfer. This little note paper, it's perforated, so I would take off the to-do part probably and just use the cherry part. Another embroidery transfer, a couple of them, and another scrap of that. This is from a children's game, chipboard piece. I think I got these at an estate sale. They're not old, but they had cherries on them. It was a little stationery set. So this is a lined piece with the little cherries in the corner. It's a little notepad. And they're sticky notes. And this one, and this one, and this one. Inexpensively priced cherry trees. Those look like black cherries. More labels. A vintage, nope, this is a digital, I think. Oh, it's a piece of manufactured ephemera. It's not old, but it's a calling card or advertising card with cherries on it. This came from an old magazine about creating stencils. Oh, this was with the sticky note set. It's just little circles in a cherry color. I have some vintage cherry flavored drink bottle caps. So they're like a milk pog, but they're for cherry drink. And, oh, this is a Victorian piece. These labels for canning or making jelly for cherry and ground cherry. These are vintage. This little square of fabric. These are digitals from Johanna Clough. There's another cherry drink. A vintage postcard. I made this pocket with a little piece of cherry fabric. And I made this booklet a long time ago. Here's a little embroidered square with cherries on it. This piece of linen also had other fruit embroidered on it, but I just took the cherry. I made this several years ago. It has pockets. I'm going to use it in a cherry journal. This is from a nursery rhyme. Little girl eating cherries off a plate. And then this little poem. And another stencil advertisement. And a recipe for cherry fluff. And I think all the rest are digitals. So some of these are from KB and Friends. And I'm not sure where that came from. It was a collection of flashcards. One had a cherry on it, so I put it in here. And I think most, if not all of the rest, came from another collection of ephemera. There are circles in the set. I'll have to find it and link it. I don't have journal pages, but I did buy this ephemera collection. And some journal cards. So maybe these weren't part of that, but I think the journal cards and the circles were. Maybe that, I don't know. So lots of cherry ephemera here. And this is another manufactured piece. I think that came with a Kathy Holden collection of ephemera. So that's quite a bit. I have to look through my scrapbook paper for red and green and maybe some blue. I'm not sure yet. Papers and, oh, one brad that has cherries on it. I hope that you can see these enough. It looks kind of dark when I look at the screen. So that's going to be today's video. My haul, and most of it was free. I think, yeah, I spent $1.50. Oh, plus $1 for this and $5 for the doilies with the other ones. So it was about $6 at that store. So, you know, $7.50 for all that stuff I showed you, because most of it was free. And my collection of cherry supplies. I'm very excited to get to work on these cherry journals. I think I'll make at least one fabric cover. And one or two covers with this. What do you think about this? Do you think that would be good for a cherry? I didn't see, I forgot to look for another piece. I know I had two pieces that I thought would be good on the cover. Maybe it was this. Might have been the postcard, but no, I didn't want to cover the back because it has writing on it. Let me look real quick. Maybe it was an advertisement or a recipe. I don't know. I'm not seeing what it might have been right now. So we'll figure that out later. That's not going to go in the cherry book. Well, thanks for coming along to check out my haul and see what's coming up next in my shop. Tell me what you think about the chocolate book with ephemera, and tell me what you think about this cherry journal project and using the blue. I think that looks really nice. Just looks like a blue gingham apron to me in a farmhouse. Well, I will see you in the next video, and I hope you're having a creative day. Bye.